Hey, I just got done with my workout. And usually when, this is going to be way too much information, but you know, you got the ladies over here, headlights, what is it, the Austin Powers, juggies, I forget what they're called, I think it was juggies. Anyway, the shooting headlights are on. Anyway, so I have my cakes on. So my cakes go over the little nips and you can't see them. So after I come into my air-conditioned house, after sweating my butt off and I get a little chilly, I don't have to worry about it. Sometimes when I'm working out, I gotta wipe this off, and it happens. Anyways, so the pads in the bra come out in the laundry. We all know this. We all hate this. There's not enough sewn-in pads, but now you don't have to worry about it because Cake's Body came up with these lovely nip covs, and that's what we're calling them as cool people, nip covs. Anyway, they have a couple different sizes. I like the medium to large ones because it smooths everything out. So as you get a little older, it just gives you a little extra smoothness, keeps everything looking young and healthy. And yeah, so take all your pads and throw them in the garbage. You burn them, whatever you're going to do with them, do it. And get you some of these. I will put the link in the show notes. This is a commercial. Anyways, I have an affiliate link for you, and I will put it in the show notes just for you. Our little secret. Anyways, get rid of those pads. We hate them. You hate them. I hate them. We're all together on this one. So we're starting a revolution with the cakes. The cakes are the revolution. They have also have a different shape. I forget what they're called, but check it out. You can use your discount code for those too. They are amazing. They don't hurt when you take them off. You reuse them. You just wash them with simple soap and water. It takes 2 seconds and you're good to go. Try it out. Also, Thorn, I have a great discount for you there. The link will be in the show notes. Like I said, just worked out. So I'm going to do my collagen and my greens for after. The collagen has the protein. I also put protein in my coffee, so that's where that goes. But this collagen is passion berry flavored, which I love, and it's Collagen Plus by Thorn, and it tastes amazing. And they're greens, which I already put in, because I tend to just like eat meat during the day for some reason, or egg, like hard-boiled eggs and stuff like that. My salad consumption has gone down as I get older. My body doesn't love to process lettuce and raw vegetables. So I put my greens in, I put my collagen in, and then I shake it up. And I ran out of my BCAAs, my branch chain amino acids. Any amino acids powder I would also put in here for recovery after a workout. I don't have any right now, but here it is, Thorn. It's backwards, of course, but I will put my link in the show notes for this too. This tastes amazing. It's hard to find good tasting non-chalky stuff. This dissolves very well. Anyways, all for you. Discount codes. See ya. Hey, you guys. Same day, different shirt, different drink. No, different product. So this one is the Cycling Frog THC. This one's 2 milligrams, so very, very lightly dosed, may I say. But I have a discount for this one. I have a discount for the drink drops. I'll put both of them in the show notes here, but I just wanted to show you the can. It tastes like a Spindrift, so it doesn't taste like it has any fun stuff in it. I say that You know what I mean? Huh? Get it? Huh? Just kidding. So anyway, isn't that cool packaging? I love the packaging. So cute. And it took a little while to get here, but it's here now, and I will put that discount code below. Enjoy if you get it. Cheers. That was close.
That was close.
We almost turned it on before we were ready.
Made it in the nick of time.
We may still not be quite ready.
Yeah.
We'll figure this out as we go.
I don't know if I'm ever ready.
We have a whiny dog that
Whiny
really wants to be part of the podcast.
To eat the laptop.
Comes.
No, that's Charlie. It was Yeti.
Oh.
Of course. Go on. All right. Anyways, so and we didn't do our dad jokes. Dang it. We've been missing the dad jokes. All right. You guys go ahead and here I go again. Do you need a podcast drink?
Podcast drinking, dad jokes.
Oh, forget the one that I had.
I got one. What's brown and sticky?
I don't know if I'm gonna know. Just kidding. Go
I don't know if I want to know.
A stick.
That was really good. That was really
Total dad joke.
good. Okay. These aren't funny.
Why is it so hard?
Ah! I could just play it. They're dirty. Usually.
Okay.
I'll just put mine. You ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not.
Oh.
Ready for
Ready for
you?
you.
Why is it so hard to argue with a woman who's not wearing a bra? She's already made 2 great points.
That's funny. I like that a lot.
That's all. I have that guy, and it's never written. It's always just audio. So I'm like, I'll just play it.
You're just taking a gamble.
I'm not
How
gonna,
bad could it be?
I'm not going to take credit for it either. So.
These are so bad.
It's okay.
Okay. What did one toilet say to the other?
I don't know.
You look flushed.
I like that.
That's cute.
Yeah, I like it.
Great one.
Good one. Success.
I thought you meant bad.
It was so good. It was so bad, but it was good.
Yeah.
So it's July
It is July.
and it's hot
It is hot.
and there are a lot of mosquitoes. And what kind of mosquito repellent do you guys use?
Oh, I typically don't use mosquito repellent.
Me either.
Me either.
I use peppermint oil.
I do use peppermint
That
oil.
works.
Yeah. Or lemongrass and peppermint oil.
Or I go inside.
Yeah.
The
By
influence.
hand.
Yeah, I like that.
I when I was a freshman in college, I did a summer hiking adventure in Wyoming, and it was like after the '93 Yellowstone fires, all the underbrush was burned, and so when the snow melted the following year, there wasn't underbrush to hold the mountain in place, so all that like heavy wet ground just like slid down. So like you'd have trails that were up at the top of the mountain and slid down to the like, and so my geology class in college, we were like outside of Yellowstone in the Tetons area, and we spent 2 weeks in the backcountry mapping the areas that had moved, because like you'd be on the trail and then all of a sudden it would just be gone and it would be like barren dirt, and then we'd walk down the hill, 50 yards, and all the land had just moved, and you could pick up the trail.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was bizarre. I'd never seen anything like it. But anyway, we were there. We mapped it so that they had GPS tracking of where the trails were now. And we were in the backcountry in Montana, in Wyoming, in the middle of summer, and the mosquitoes were so thick, like they would get in your mouth and your eyes, and if you talk, they'd go in your mouth and get in your ears. And we used nets and stuff, but we also used like straight DEET, and we would like pour it on our hands and like put it. And I was 19 years old. I didn't think twice about it, but years later, when I got cancer, I wondered, like, was it from that deep? Yeah. So now I try not to use those kind of chemicals.
Yeah, blame it on the deep. You know?
I mean, there were a lot of risk factors in my life,
but that's cool. You were like part of history, like a big part of history.
it was a cool class.
That is such a cool
Yeah.
like experience.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Wow. But the mosquitoes.
Yeah,
no.
the mosquitoes were disgusting.
No, when I was in Mexico, when I first got down there, my like pink white flesh like attracted all of the. They love the white meat. One guy told me. But after a while, I was there for my Ashtanga teacher training. So we were. She had us on full vegan raw, basically, and after about a week, I didn't get bitten by any mosquitoes because my body was one with nature. Like there was no meat in my system, there was no flesh,
Like sugar.
no sugar, no blood, but there was fruit, tons of fruit. So lots of sugar, but maybe like the
processed sugar.
Yeah, it was like sucralose or whatever.
That's interesting, like, because I've read a lot of different theories on what attracts the mosquitoes. Like, is it a chemical that, pheromone that we're putting off naturally? Is it the food that we're eating?
Yeah, who knows?
And I don't have the answer, but I'm fascinated by it.
I don't have the answer either, but my experiment showed that when I was clean and I was in nature and I was respecting it and working with it every day, meaning like I was walking barefoot, I wasn't like throwing shit everywhere, I was like in awe of it. So I definitely had a vibration. I'm sure the trees were like, yes, that's right, queen. Love us. We love you. You know? But also I did notice you said we don't know if like it's a pheromone they're putting out or what you're eating. Well, I will say I know that when I would go into town and have some bread at the like panderia, like or something, or have like a carb or whatever or anything sweet, the next morning at Mysore, I would smell like a bakery.
Yeah.
Like legit, the yeast would come
I was gonna
right
say
out.
that yeast smell.
It smells so good. I was like, donuts. But like, you know. And my friend was like, it's the yeast, you know? I was like, oh. I was like, I smell so good from Ashtanga. She's like, that's yeast.
That piece of bread you ate.
It smells good coming out, you know, out of the pores. But it was really cool to see and do experiments with my biology that way and get like fully down to like my natural function as a human. It was so cool. And then I could instantly feel when I eat like something from the Pueblo.
Yeah.
It's like, whoop, nope, that's not going to feel good. Instantly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think mosquito, it could be food, it could be your attitude. Like, I would love to do another test and take variables out and be like mean to nature. Just kidding, I don't do that. But like, you know.
Go out and be like, fuck you, trees.
But eat really clean, eat raw, and like not respect it and see if the mosquitoes still bite me. That would be interesting, right? And the ants
I'm gonna
too.
need you to journal that
I
experience.
think maybe I'll do it. But the ants too, like they would come in when we'd go when it was our turn to teach in the mornings, like towards the end of our course. You go in early at like 5 in the morning to the shala, which is outside with screens and like grass, you know, grass thatch roofs or whatever, traditional like Mexican outdoor space. And there would be flying ants. They'd be like hovering above, and there would be like thousands of them moving in this like creepy ass circle, like
Oh no.
like in their nighttime thing, like what are they doing? And we turn the lights on, they'd scatter, and then a lot of times we'd be in the shala outside during like philosophy or something. And one time I was sitting there just watching, there was like 100 ants picking up a giant like grasshopper that was dead, and just they're like
It's fascinating.
and then they fit it
together.
It was incredible. And then they fit it into a little crack, and I saw the little wings of the thing go, and I was like, nature is terrifying. I was just like, that bitch will swallow you whole. And but it's cool too, because then I would go into the city for fun, like to Playa del Carmen or something, and witness how different it was. It was so westernized, but it was Mexico, but it was like the westernized like bar scene. And they were just like, I remember I was talking to a bartender, and there was a couple ants, and he was like, with all these chemicals, and I was like, what a different world I'm in, like working with nature, like
just a few miles away.
Yeah, right in the, it's just like letting the ants do their thing for a second and not spraying them and freaking the F out is kind of cool to watch, because they leave you alone if you leave them alone, and if you respect their hustle, because they're tiny little soldiers.
So I have a planter on my front porch, and it's it's not crazy big, but it's like a 25-gallon pot with like ivy coming out of it. And every summer, a bird builds a nest. It's a little finch, and it builds its nest inside my pot. And so every summer, the minute the nest is built, I'm like, front door's off limits. Everybody has to come through the garage. The dogs have to go out the backyard. Yeah, nobody can use the porch.
Don't disturb them.
We are hatching babies.
Oh, I love that.
And so this year she's laid 4 eggs inside the nest.
Aww.
And, if you get too close, she'll fly away and then watch. So we try to stay away and just give her the space. But one of the eggs has hatched, and there's a little teeny baby egg, bird in there. Like his neck's all wobbly. His mouth is open all the time.
Yeah.
She's
always hungry.
She's flying away and coming back with worms. I'm like, girl, I feel you.
Yeah. That's what we did with ours.
Yeah.
You got to meet him, right?
I met him.
What was his name? D's. Nuts. Because he would have his little mouth open.
Yeah.
That was such a beautiful, nurturing experience for me.
That was.
To get to just
And he was aggressive too.
he was like, he took my finger though down his little gullet. I was like, look at that, got on there. So cute.
It's like, this is a big worm. No.
Did you ever hear from the rescue?
No.
So you
Where'd
had to
you
give
put
them
him?
away.
What? I brought him to a rehab place.
Oh, I thought you just put him
Back in the woods.
I
No.
was like,
No, I drove an hour and brought him to brought him to the lady, donated $50 and
That is so
handed off a baby bird.
yeah.
For context, a few weeks back, I'm sure we talked about it, but Rachel while I was here, found a bird. Well, Yeti found a bird.
Yeah, Yeti found
Her baby puppy found a bird, and Rachel rescued it and brought it inside, put it in a boiling pot, like a cooking pot.
Yeah, with a towel.
With a towel over it, and we fed it. Well, she did all the work, but I got to feed it once, and it was so amazing. You chopped up worms and fed it
blueberries, peanut butter. I read all the things you could do.
That was so fun.
Some person's like, give it water, and another one's like, don't give it water, and I'm like,
That's what led you to the rescue, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I need to put
I'm like, I'm gonna kill this thing.
Yeah. It was cute though. It would just be sitting there, and then if you'd walk up, it would detect someone and be like, just open it
right away.
like, feed me.
It was so cute.
It's really
Very
cute.
demanding.
So cute. Well, I have a cute story that's not related to what we said we were going to talk about, but it's part of my day today.
Okay.
So I told you guys this, but a while back, my dad went to go buy a golf cart, and the golf cart salesman had his daughter there in the store, and my dad was making conversation with the salesman, and the little girl was really nice, and he got to figure out that his wife died during COVID, but not of COVID, but something some crazy medical thing. And so she's 7 or 8, and she was only 3 or 4. And I have a similar situation. So my dad thought, I should introduce you guys, and you can spend some time together. And I don't know why, but when I got the text from my dad explaining it, I just jumped on it and I sent it to y'all. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, I would love to hang out with a 7-year-old and just hang out. I don't know. And bond like that. It's a special bond. It's not super normal to lose your mom when you're before age 5. It's kind of rare. And so it's just we have this weird thing that we both share. I don't know. So we ended up spending some time together, and then now it's been sort of a regular thing. And I guess while she's out of school for the summer, so today we hung out, and I'm trying to remember exactly what happened that made me want to share. But it was very, very sweet that I got to I remember now. Today I went and picked her up, and we went to the city center and walked around, and she loves to shop, but I'm teaching her not to buy things. So that's been interesting.
Can you
teach me that?
Yeah, we're really good browsers. You can come with us next time and see if you can restrain. But yeah, because it just reminds me of with my dad when it first happened, it was, I'm sure, really hard on him, and he panics because it's so sad, and you're just here, take things. And so if I wanted stuff, I'm sure my dad didn't really say no a whole lot. And so it's a tough spot to be in as an adult, seeing that as a kid, because I was the kid, and now it's like we need to set some boundaries because I don't know. I want to bring some influence to
Is that going to make you feel better if you get all the things you want?
Yeah, and teach her that it's more than just I want to fill a void. Not that she's doing that or anything, but she kind of
Just
is.
in case the baby,
She doesn't know. She doesn't know. So I'm trying to help but not be a mom. It's weird. So but it's cool, and I think it's working because today I was like, I really like a lot of stuff too, because she's a lot like me. She's like, oh, I love this. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love this. Oh, that's my favorite. And it's like, I've always been that way because I just love what I love, and I love a lot of stuff. But there's, I'm learning about a lot of stuff, there's a balance, and it's like, you do love these things, but you're gonna have to make a choice about one thing, and she's so smart because she came back with for example, if there's a strawberry plushie and a watermelon plushie and I like both strawberry and watermelon equally, what am I supposed to do? But maybe she's so much like me. She's like, but maybe what if one has more accessories and the other one has more glitter? I like both accessories and glitter. And I was like, actually, I don't know how to help you. You got a good point. But
I'll get the watermelon.
Yeah.
And you.
She did. She came up with her she taught herself. She was like, oh, I know. I'll just get the one that I like, and then the watermelon one I can get another time, or I can get it for you. She said that, and it was really cute and sweet. And then we had a nice little chat about bullies. So and so she just turned 8, and she brought her birthday present with us, and it was a very creepy, realistic looking baby doll.
Oh.
They make them look so real.
They're realer and realer.
It's so creepy. I was like, oh no. And she brought her little stroller, and so we put it in my car, and so we were walking the baby with the stroller around. Yeah. And she was saying that people were at her camp were bullying her for bringing her baby to camp. Oh. Yeah. So I was faced with that dilemma, and I just had to go off the cuff, I didn't plan for these lessons. I was just like, you do you, boo. I was like, if someone, she goes, I don't think I'm going to bring my baby to camp anymore. And I was like, why? And she's like, well, because the kids are making fun of me. And I was like, well, just bring it anyway. She's like, well, they're not going to stop. And I was
so she understands.
I think she does understand. So I don't know if I gave good advice. I was just like, no, just bring it if you want. And then she's like, yeah, I don't think they're going to stop. And it's I didn't know.
Brayden was in kindergarten when I realized my social skills were not up to snuff to help someone deal with 5-year-old classroom dynamics.
I guess that's where I'm at. Yeah, it's intense dynamic. The little kid dynamics are they're
well, and it's when I think back, and I did this when I was dealing with my kids. When I thought back to the advice that the adults in my life gave me, none of that shit ever helped.
I know. I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're old.
Right. The grown-up advice that we give that helps us in the grown-up world isn't applicable in the schoolyard.
And it's kind of true even for people who are when I was in my 20s and someone was a few years older than me. I was like, it's different now, sir.
Change.
You were born 3 years above me, but you don't know how society works anymore.
You haven't met mean girls like these mean girls.
No, I'm from that era. That was my high school. But yeah, so I didn't know how to talk about that bullying thing. I mean, we'll see. It was hard. I felt for her, and I also felt equally kind of this is a good lesson for me in setting boundaries as well, because the dad, he's a nice guy and everything, but he does kind of ask a lot, and I have to kind of be not today,
Oh yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah, and she's a super sweet kid, but it was a little bit exhausting. I was a little bit drained after today. It was only an hour. Or no, it was 2 hours, but I was a little drained. But there's a lot there. I want to help and I want to contribute, but I also don't want to get too,
Well, you don't want to over engage and then have to pull way back.
Yeah, and hurt
You'd like to
somebody.
be consistent.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm doing a good job. I've spread it out a little bit. But it's funny because today she was like, her dad and I were talking when I dropped her off about the Appalachian Trail or something and camping, and he was like, yeah, I want to get her to teach her some skills or whatever. And she was like, we can all go together.
Yeah, like, oh, wait a minute.
And on our first girl date, we were eating lunch and she was like, are you married? And I was like, no. And she was like, you and my dad could get married. And I was like, oh my God. I was just like,
She's 7.
she's
okay.
so young. Yeah, it was so funny. And like, I was like, I'm not in a 1995 Lindsay Lohan movie with the Olsen twins about Parent Trap or something. But it was really cute. And I'm happy that I have that little friendship. It's really sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my little story. I just thought of her because we went and I took her to Hobby Lobby and she's never been there. I was like, this is my mecca, bruh. Welcome. And she was like, yeah. I told her, actually, this is so cute. I was like, put your eyes down and walk till I tell you to look. And she was like, okay. And she literally was like, because I knew it would be so much. And we were there for an hour. I was like, I can't go. Yeah. And I'm doing a booth at Lakewood 400 in August. And so I've been there I've been at Hobby Lobby like the last week or two, probably like 5 times. So I was like, I gotta get out of here. I didn't think I'd ever get tired of it, but yeah, I ended up getting her a little gift. It was slime. A slime kit.
Everybody loves slime.
Yeah. I know, I do. I'm like, yeah. But yeah, so it was a good day.
Good. Glad you had a good day.
Yeah, it was fun. So anyway,
Cool.
that's my story.
Well, I got a story.
Go for
So, as you know, the boat broke.
Oh my God. Yes.
And then, which I might have told you already.
I saw it broke again.
Yeah, I saw it on Instagram.
So, but I call my friends that live on the lake.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, what are you guys doing? I texted, I didn't call. When I say call, I mean text. And I'm like, hey, what are you guys doing? And they're like, nothing, what you doing? I'm like, hey, do you want to, come hang out on the boat? We're out here and maybe bring a, rope. And we can go back to your place. No, they were like, no, we're just getting ready to eat, but we haven't started yet. Like, they hadn't started cooking, and they're like, yeah, where are you? I'm like, literally right outside the...
Look outside your window.
Yes. Help. So they're like, we'll be there in a minute. And they, came over
Oh, that's so nice.
and got us and stuff.
Cool.
So I was like, oh, thank God.
It's cool to have helper friends.
Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, all right, freebies for you, whatever you need. You need some shampoo, you need vitamins, like whatever I got you for whatever.
Oh, because what are your, what's your brand again?
Thorn.
Do you have an affiliate link?
I do. I'm going to put all that stuff. Well, I made a little video again
Yeah.
to put in front of this video, so you would have already seen it. And that's okay.
So professional.
Me too. I mean, hey.
Click below and, when they're pointing at something.
I don't know how to do that. Put the link in the picture frame.
No, but when the link's in the picture frame, it's usually not clickable anyway, which annoys me.
Exactly. Yeah, so.
We're doing the best we can with what we got. Subscribe.
Oh yeah, listener.
I think it's real funny when influencers are like, they just do the hand motions without connecting. They're like, yeah, hi, I'm Maria, and if you would just subscribe and hit the thing, and then hit the thing, and then it's like, just fucking speak normal, bro. This bothers me, I guess. I don't know.
What about this? Because that's what.
I'll click that link. I will totally click that link.
Click that shit. All right. I don't even know what we're talking about now. What did we say? Oh, I know. Well, more serious.
Yeah, so we can go from you guys' fun stories to my traumatic stories.
Oh, okay, let's do it.
And we'll talk about the struggles of managing your wellness in this
Western
world. Yeah, this world.
So in the Wild West.
We talked about before, 2 years ago I had breast cancer, and in August of 22 I had a double mastectomy, and I'm doing great, and I'm healthy, and I'm strong, and I'm working out, and I'm doing yoga and all the things. And like there's ongoing maintenance with that. I've seen my doctor every 3 months since everything happened, and thumbs up every time. Well, last week I was on vacation, hanging out with my family, and this humongous lump appeared in my breast, my left breast. Like I can feel it right now. And like it came out of nowhere. It was not there, and then it was there. And I'm not a freak out kind of person, so I gave myself the talk, like, this is probably not anything. I called my doctor. They got me in for Monday, so we came back from vacation on Saturday. I had an appointment on Monday. I went in, and I went to my gynecologist because my oncologist had told me that my gynecologist would do my breast exams ongoing. So I went to the gynecologist. They did a breast exam, and she was obviously stressed about it. Like when she felt it, and then like she felt the one that I felt, and then she like did the full breast exam, and she found 3 more lumps, and she was like, I'm not an oncologist. I don't know what this should feel like. I'm really like, I want you to see somebody else. And I was like, okay. So she gave me an order for an ultrasound, and she asked me to call my oncologist. So I left that office. I called my oncologist. He said, go ahead with the ultrasound. We'll talk after we get the results. And they got me in quickly. So I found the lump on like Wednesday of last week. I had the gynecologist appointment on Monday. At 7:30 a.m. on Tuesday, I had the ultrasound. And so, it's the typical thing that you get when you go in for an ultrasound. Like they put you in the dressing room, you take off all your clothes, you have to use a little wipey and take off all your deodorant, and then they put you in a gown and you sit in the waiting room. And then a tech comes and gets me and takes me to the ultrasound room. And she's going through my history, and she's like, oh, you had a mastectomy. And I said, yeah. And she said, so you don't have any breast tissue? And I said, no. And then she like pulled my robe open, and she was like, what's this flesh? And I was like, it's reconstruction. They used my abdominal tissue to recreate
What's this flesh? Like, how rude.
She said it very nicely, but
However,
those were the words.
What is thine flesh and thine bosom?
And so I explained that they used my abdominal tissue to reconstruct my breast. And she was like, one moment. And she left the room. And she was gone for a little while. And she came back and she was like, we want to do a mammogram, a diagnostic mammogram first. And I said, okay. And I said, is that a better image? And she said, yes, it's a better image. They'll be able to tell the difference between scar tissue and something else. And I said, okay, if it's a better image, then I'm down. So I go back to the waiting room, and I sit there for a while. And then another tech comes and gets me and takes me to the back. And, she's like, okay, what's going on? She opens my robe. I show her, like, she finds the lumps and she puts little stickers on them. And then she does the mammogram. And at one point, she was actually a very sweet care provider, because she said, when did you have your mastectomy? And I said, August of 22. And she touched me on the shoulder and she goes, you're so young. And I felt myself getting teary because I was like, I know. But then, so she finished up the mastectomy. She sent me back to the waiting room. Then the other lady comes back, the tech that had taken me to the ultrasound. She comes back and she's like, now we want to do an ultrasound. So obviously they couldn't see what they needed to see with the mammogram. So they took me back for the ultrasound, and they did that. And then put me back in the waiting room. And then after like 30 minutes, the radiologist called me in and was like, it's scar tissue. It is, it's encapsulated, what did they call it? Encapsulated tissue necrosis, fat necrosis. So basically dead tissue from the surgery. And they were like, this is completely normal. We expect it with mastectomies, but we want to follow up. So we're gonna do this again every 3 months for the next couple of years. And I said, okay. And I said, but it's normal? And she said, yeah, people think that when they have a mastectomy, it's over, which is exactly what I thought. Like, I chose the mastectomy because I didn't want to have to worry and continue getting checkups. And she said people think that when you have a mastectomy, it's over, but that's really not the case. Once you go in and take that amount of tissue out, your body does things ongoing. She said, like, you can spontaneously get scar tissue years later, which is what happened with me, because one day I didn't have the lumps and the next day I did. And so then so for me, great story. I'm fine. Everything's wonderful. But it led me to think about like this gap in healthcare, and my oncologist is wonderful, but he only takes care of the cancer piece of Elizabeth. And my gynecologist is wonderful, but she only takes care of like the pap smear piece of Elizabeth. And so there's nobody other than me thinking about like my whole body wellness. And the other piece is I'm 49, I'll be 50 in April, so I'm perimenopausal. So when I went into the gynecologist, I had all these questions about like hormone replacement therapy and like what should I be doing as bone density, like all the things you should be thinking about. And she immediately was like, there's contraindications because you have breast cancer. So I can't prescribe hormone replacement therapy for you.
That is so fucked up. I'm sorry.
So it is. It's this.
That just gives me reverse chills.
Well, and it's led me down this path of like, now I need a new care provider, and I'm going to be searching for a unicorn because I need a gynecologist who is knowledgeable about perimenopause and menopause, which is already really hard to find. All the women in our age bracket are talking about how they're not finding someone who's well versed in menopause treatment, and how do you get someone that can help with the symptoms that come with menopause. And then on top of that, you layer in the cancer. So I need a gynecologist who is an expert at menopause and is comfortable treating a post-cancer, post-mastectomy patient. Yeah.
And probably a little on the holistic side.
A little on the holistic side.
But when you said unicorn, I thought holistic, and I think that those unicorns are popping up.
I think they are,
but maybe not your specific unicorn flavor.
Right, because personally, as a cancer survivor, I'm going to need double-blind studies to prove out the treatment that we're giving me, right? I'm not going to just go for, here, take these pills because, they're natural from the earth and they make you feel better. Like, I can't go that way because for my own sanity.
Yeah.
So listener, if you know of a unicorn oncologist, put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know that a lot of my female friends of my age group are struggling to find care just to help with perimenopause and menopause. Then you throw in cancer, and breast cancer is on the rise. There are a lot of women of our age group that are dealing with these health issues and need providers that are versed in amino acids.
And when you say for your sanity, were you talking about because when I say holistic, I mean doctors is that functional? I'm talking about the ones that do the whole body, not just natural.
Gotcha.
Not naturopaths.
Okay.
Holistic.
Yes.
Like they work with all the parts.
No, absolutely.
I think more of those are coming.
An MD.
Yeah.
Who is focused on the whole body.
No hippies. But my naturopath are all MD.
Okay.
But they also there's a gap with them as well that I was gonna bring up after. So.
Well, and the reason you got my response so quickly is because I run in the wellness circle, I have a lot of friends who are very comfortable with non-MD medicine. And I was pretty comfortable with it prior to cancer myself.
Well, after the big C word,
right?
I get you. I feel you.
And so, like during my recovery time frame, I had people who love me very much offering me, like, here's this thing, here's this thing, and try this to help with the swelling. And I was like, I'm not putting anything in my mouth that's not told by my doctor that I need this.
Yeah. Well, because cancer wasn't created by nature, so nature can't necessarily. I mean, I'm not trying to make a definitive claim, but it's like you might need something stronger than nature to combat something that's stronger than nature to create.
Yeah, and absolutely, I am a believer in like the natural piece of being healthy, right? Yeah. I eat well. I don't use a lot of chemicals. I've read so much about like our beauty routines and all of the things we're putting on our body and how our skin soaks up all those chemicals, and so I definitely have gone down that path, from how I take care of myself, and
cancer.
and cancer.
Yeah, I have a friend who is I just found out she has had breast cancer for 8 years now, and I guess she won't. She's in the like shaman world, like where she's like on the full other side of the spectrum, and it's really sad to see. Not, I don't want to say sad because that sounds like pity, but it's heartbreaking to me not to know too much about the situation, but only see her like it looks like she's dying.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, like, because I'm pretty spiritual and pretty natural, but like if I'm almost dead, like I'm gonna go to the doctor. Yeah, but also if I had a diagnosis that was as serious as yours, I would go straight to the, like there's a line between like like I said, preventative and maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and being sick. Those are two different things.
No, absolutely. And like I think there are so many things we can do to boost our health, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are all these things I can do at home to help myself be healthier. But when you have breast cancer, like I need an oncologist.
I need an oncologist. Yep, I agree with you. I'm so glad to hear that you're okay. That was like such a really suspenseful story. I was like,
yeah, and it all happened in days.
I was like about to start crying.
Well, and when you're at the mammogram place and they're like,
wait a
second, go over here. Oh wait,
you think they have more
here.
tact?
I don't know if I know how to deal with that. Or
I went through the whole range of emotions at the diagnostic center because I walked in feeling like I'm okay. This is probably just a side effect of the surgery. I just need to go through the steps to get it checked. And then as the suspense built, like by the time I was sitting in the ultrasound room for the second time and they left and came back, or hadn't come back yet. Oh wait, so they started, like they had me lay on my back and they did an ultrasound, and then they had me roll over onto my side and they ultrasound on the side. And then she covered me in this sad little white washcloth, and she was like, "I'll be right back." And it was great because she took the images to the radiologist to make sure that they had what they needed before she let me get dressed. So like, I totally appreciate the way she did it. But she left me laying there with my shirt off and a little washcloth over me for long enough for me to lay there and think, okay, this could be a reoccurrence. And if it is, I'm going to be okay. And then like at one point I got a little weepy and I was like, at least I went to Italy.
I love that. So I'm glad you got to have that experience.
So by the time she came back in and like we discussed everything, like I had already come to terms with like my impending mortality.
Sure. Well, that's a good exercise in self-resilience, mental resilience, I guess. Wow. Dang. I'm so glad you're okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Me too.
That's a lot for you with your dad and everything.
Yeah.
And gosh, wow, what a soldier you are.
Well, I was definitely thinking about that too. Because, from the beginning I was like, I can't be sick right now.
Right.
Because I need to be present for him. I can't be sick right now. And then by the time like the situation had broken me down and I was like, okay, maybe it's a recurrence. I was like,
acceptance.
Like,
yeah, that's so good.
Whatever it is, and we'll deal with it.
That is such a powerful conclusion to come to
Mm-hmm.
on that table.
Yeah.
Wow. You're so strong.
Yeah.
Well, and I also, because Rachel and I have been doing strength training together, and
literally strong.
But in my head, I was thinking like, I wonder how long I'll be able to keep doing weights.
Oh my gosh.
So luckily, none of those thoughts have to be like worked forward. Like everything's fine.
I'm so glad. Wow.
Incredible. But we know that lots of people are dealing with these kinds of things. So listener, if you've got stuff like this going on in your life, just know that you're not alone.
And you're not crazy for thinking that the doctors aren't doctoring very well because no one's having a really great time with that.
Yeah, even the best doctors.
Yeah.
Like, because I have a really good care team, and I still feel like there's just a missing piece. There's nobody that's looking at me as a whole person.
I gotta be honest with you guys, I felt like that when I was really little. Like when I was like 10 or 11, I had like an epiphany in a doctor's office being like, that's not how they make it seem in the cartoons that doctors, you know, I remember noticing like something's not adding up. And then when I became an adult and I had this horrible, and I still have it, like mysterious skin condition that no one can diagnose, and I've been to like thousands of doctors and I've spent so much money, and it's part of the reason that I had a breakdown because I got a bill from a hospital and I was like, oh no, and I got so angry about the medical system. I didn't trust it. All of the things I felt since I was little, I was like, this is bullshit. Like, and I just like lost it, and I couldn't afford the bill, and I got completely overwhelmed. But I bounced around from dermatologists to doctors and then even in my early 20s, I had a big scary like theft thing happen where I had like my identity was stolen and all my school stuff the day before final, a very stressful thing. And I, to this very day, I like I think I broke a rib from trying to breathe, like because I couldn't breathe. And I still have problems with this rib, and doing the fascia work, I'm starting to like get to it, and I'm like, I might be able to fix it with fascia, but it hurt, like it hurts. But anyway, during that time I couldn't breathe, so I was like, how do I fix this? I can't breathe, I might die. So they were like, my primary care was like, go to a pulmonologist, and they were like running all these tests for asthma, and they gave me an inhaler, and they were like, this is so odd that you can't breathe. Like, you don't seem to, like, here, try this inhaler. Here's some, something where you,
Yes.
that thing. And they were like, maybe like that can help you breathe or whatever. And they were like, but I was a runner. And so they were like, but when you run, do you have trouble breathing? And I said, no. And it took another 10, 12 years for me to realize that it was severe anxiety.
I was gonna say.
Like, but I could cry right now because that was just 2010. Yeah. And I had I still have parents that believe that it just flies over their head, but like a parent generation, and I think of like my older generations, like my teachers, my parents, like that whole generation was ignorant to anxiety. They literally made me feel like shit when I had a problem that reflected anxiety symptoms. They were like, they would make it worse and call me names and shit. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess I need to go to a lung doctor. But it was all fear and anxiety. And it makes me so sad for little girls who have like shitty, great parents who are respectfully ignorant as F to what anxiety actually is. And it's extremely debilitating when it's untreated. That's my TED talk.
I didn't know Justin had it. I knew nothing about
nobody
anxiety.
knew. I didn't either. I thought it was for weak people.
I thought he was having a meltdown, like a meltdown. Like he didn't know how to control his meltdown, an impulsive meltdown of anger, but it was really
Outside of his control.
Yeah. Anxiety.
Yeah.
But I think, so I'm so sorry that you had to go through that.
I feel
my heart wants to care for you because
I'm not
for
complaining.
young Rachel, right? Young Rachel that didn't get the guidance that would have helped.
That's where this started.
Yeah. And same thing for you, right? As a mother, having a child who's struggling and not knowing how to help them is heartbreaking.
Yeah, and being like, did I do something wrong? And, you know, it's like equally, I'm sure.
But I really believe that we have come a long way. Like,
yes,
I think people are much more knowledgeable about anxiety and mental illness and like these things that are really impacting children and other adults.
Oh my God, yeah.
And like the reality of our society today versus even 5 years ago.
Even 5 years ago.
Different.
Yeah.
100%. I think it's a different world now. And when I speak, and I'm speaking of my experience, I'm speaking as if we're talking, it's 1998 right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel that is what the landscape, I think the kids, as crazy as it is with the world and like the media and everything, like, and how kids and their attention and stuff, I think it's equally as inspiring to know that there are generations opening up and changing their minds, and it feels very good. It feels very progressive in the mental health space, and there's also some like fruits out there doing some weird shit, but I think for the most part, anxiety is on the table as a serious topic amongst people who used to bully people for it. Even my own like stepmom, like the things she would say, it was just like it. But again, she didn't know. She didn't know.
And she probably has a little bit of
anxiety. She has said and admitted. She's like, I have a touch of social anxiety. Where it's like, oh, you're saying the word and admitting it. Like, that shows so much progress. And I couldn't go back in time and create a better future. Like, just to get that recognition is all for herself. It didn't have to be about me. Like, just the fact that she acknowledges that it's a real thing for any human, I'm like, whew, that just makes me feel a little bit seen in reverse.
Yeah.
So, and anxiety is like, I also think it can get out of control where people are like, it's my anxiety. Like, I feel like it can be used.
But true anxiety can be debilitating.
It is, for me, it was. And you can tell by my skin. Like, I've realized, like, my skin problem, I haven't fixed it or diagnosed it or anything, but I'm pretty sure it was 80% a reflection of my inside of the anxiety. Like, it had nothing, and it wasn't acne. It was like, it's like nerve endings, like, coming out. It's so weird. And it's like extreme stress. Like, all the cells don't know what to do, and they just like replicate more collagen because they're like, you're stressed, I don't know, you're happy, I don't know, like, you're confusing, I don't know. Or the body disconnected from the mind just produces a bunch of weird
try
things.
this.
Does this work? And I'm like, no, my whole back is bright red.
You guys cut that out.
I like right now I'm like itching, I don't know. But yeah, I would be real itchy, and it was definitely anxiety was the underlying. And then on top of it, as a 20 to 30-year-old, I self-medicated. So it just exacerbated everything. And then I also read that the liver and the skin are really closely connected. And I don't go to AA or anything, which I might if I have a downtime again, or if I'm feeling low, because I think it's a good program. But I don't think I was an alcoholic, but I was sure behaving like one. So I was drinking quite a bit, like where I was like not dependent on it, but like I didn't really take a lot of days off.
Right.
I wouldn't drink during the week, but that like was not the norm. Like, I would usually have like a little whiskey at night. So I was drinking, and then on the weekends we were binging. Like, all of us did, in your 20s. Like, so I'm pretty sure the anxiety paired with that, and then being prescribed stimulants and then alcohol was like inflaming inside so much that it like came outside. Like, I was in so much inflammation.
Well, and so often in our society, we drink to take the edge off.
I did. I was like, is this better? Is it better?
As opposed to dealing with what's going on.
With the
to
core.
create the edge, right?
Nope. I was symptom skirting or whatever. I was skirting around for so long. And I actually just came to this conclusion. I have a young friend, that works at the coffee shop, and we talk about like deep stuff, like philosophy a lot. And she and I were speaking about, I don't remember, but like maybe like spirituality and just the world being crazy and the conspiracy theories. We weren't talking about them. We were talking about that's where we're at in the world right now. And it's like, I got to come out for a while I got to zoom out from being like, look how wrong everything is, pointing, and just like observe for a second from her perspective, because she's a philosophy major or minor, so she's like into books right now, and I love when people are like that, because I'm like, tell me what you're reading. And she was like, I feel like she's so much more wise than me, and she's 20. But yeah, she helped me come to this conclusion of like just neutrality and balance, where it's like, I don't really know what I believe, but I definitely am not believing anything extreme anymore. Whereas before it's not that I was in full belief, but I was like, I go in on stuff. Like, I like nosedive into things. Mm-hmm. And she was like, yeah, you do. Like, she was, like she was trying not to like tell me about me, and
yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah. And I was like, I do that. And it was a nice moment to see me through her eyes. And when I was like talking about some of the wilder conspiracy stuff or like some of the wilder like alien stuff or whatever, I was like, yeah, it's kind of fun to think about, but I don't believe that. She was like, well, I'm really glad you came to that conclusion. And then we started talking about what we think it is, and it's like we came to this beautiful conclusion of like that we both agree that like everyone has on so many masks, like layers of masks, you know, and then that can go back to generations. So you can think of it like that way of like layers between the core of who we are. And she was like, and I was saying that, and then she's like, yeah, because I think under all of it, if you peel all the layers, we're the same. We're all the same. And I was like, yeah, that's it. And there we go. And I felt so good, like just being like, I don't have to dig into any. I can feel that feels resonant in my soul, and I know that we're the same under our masks. And that's a good enough belief system for me right now to float me.
I've been through a similar like education in my life. There was a point where I was like, just kind of drug around by my nose, like I need to read the news every morning. I need to know what's going on politically. Oh my God, we voted this person in. Things are going to be horrible now, right? Like just my emotions were all over the place based on what was happening in the world.
Sure.
And a lot of like, my family believes this, so we all have to believe this, and like carrying that stuff forward. And like over the course of 30 years, I've come to the conclusion that I feel better when I kind of move in the world like I'm an archaeologist. Like I can study it, I can be knowledgeable about it, but I don't have to participate in it. And I find I'm a lot less reactive when I operate from that place.
Be in the world, but not.
Yeah.
I love that.
The observer.
It's just like you said with Nikki, the trainer, Nikki, where she's like, it's kind of like an experiment with your body. Like, let's do a science experiment with not sociology, but with relating and being in the world. Relate to, I love that. Like, see how invested I used to be and see if I can do it with a little detachment.
And it's still, because I love to be informed. I love to learn. I love to know things. So I don't want to give that up. But what I needed to give up was the jerking of my emotions by every new lesson.
The investment. Yeah. You're investing yourself into it. Like, well, you have to invest your time and your attention, but you don't have to invest your heart.
I don't have to be fear-based. I don't have to worry about what's going to happen next. I also, at some point in the last 30 years, have gotten to the place where I don't need to know everything. Like there are things that I just don't know. Yeah. I don't know if there are aliens. Yeah. And that's okay. Yeah. I don't know what happens when we die. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. I came to that too, where it's like, who told me in my little baby ear before I came into the world that I needed to know everything? Because I don't think that's true. Yeah. It always felt very convicted, like I must understand. And it's like the more that I let things flow like water, the less I know and the more I know. Yeah. You know, like the more peace. The more peace you have. When I'm in peace, I feel like I know everything, but I don't know anything. You know what I'm saying? But I think the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. I don't know shit. I don't know shit. But it's like I feel like I have everything, but I don't know anything. I feel more full when I don't try to know everything. Well, it's so interesting to talk about it this way, because I remember in my 20s, I was all confidence and bluster, and I thought I knew everything. And over the years, I've realized I don't know anything, and I'm a lot less confident, but I'm also a lot more comfortable. Comfortable, yeah. I think comfortable and confident is a fine line, but I think if you don't have that comfort underlying, that confidence is see-through. Yeah. If I see you. Yeah, it was false bravado. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. That sounds like a really good place to stop. Don't you think?
Yeah, I do.
It's been fun, guys.
Confidence and comfortability. Comfort. Just comfort.
I like it. Right. Well, and we're here, and we're an hour on.
Yeah. Hopefully we have 2 now. Maybe. Just kidding. Have a great night.
Bye.
Let's see if I can turn it off. You know, our usual. Top or bottom?
Click.
This one?
Yep.